Ron's patience and willingness to persevere pay off. In August 1985, he receives the necessary permits and clearance to perform the radar examinations. At long last, they perform the scan, and the results are stunning. Before their very eyes, the machine tells the story of what lies beneath the surface of the object. There are massive keelsons, deck timbers, open chambers, gunnels, and other various configurations which Ron and other specialists believe identifies the object as the remains of an ancient man-made ship.
Basically, the radar scans show the same thing that the metal detector scans did, only with more detail. They show there's a pattern. They show there's a pattern of linear lines, there's a pattern of cross lines, and there's a pattern of even distribution to these lines in both directions. Now, that's precisely what you would expect out of the remains of a ship type. Now, that's precisely what you would expect out of the remains of a ship type. Now, that's precisely what you would expect out of the remains of a ship type object, because you would have a keel, you would have parallel lines which would be keelsons, and you would have the transverse lines which would be bulkheads and other reinforcing of the ship. Because you would have a keel, you would have parallel lines which would be keelsons, and you would have the transverse lines which would be bulkheads and other reinforcing of the ship. Because you would have a keel, you would have parallel lines which would be keelsons, and you would have the transverse lines which would be bulkheads and other reinforcing of the ship.
Let's have a look at this.
The governor of Ari had Ron demonstrate the radar. When he found what looked like a broken timber near the surface, the governor had it dug up and gave it to Ron to be verified. The lab test revealed organic carbon. It was petrified wood. But the final proof was when it was sectioned. The evidence was obvious. Not only could the internal wood structure be seen, it was also clearly laminated wood. 3 separate layers could be seen. 3 separate layers could be seen. 3 separate layers could be seen. The adhesive material or glue, the adhesive material or glue, the adhesive material or glue had seeped out and hardened on one end and was perfectly aligned with the internal layers. But the ultimate test as to whether this was indeed once wood was to determine the presence of organic carbon. Galbraith Labs took samples of the timber. They first analyzed for total carbon content, both organic and inorganic combined. The next test was for only inorganic carbon. By comparing the 2 results, we would know if organic carbon were present.
We're in the process of weighing the sample now before the analysis for the total carbon from this sample. The inorganic carbon will be included in this determination, all the carbon that's present. As we run the inorganic carbon, we'll be able to tell the difference if there's any organic present in the material. We're getting 0.71% total carbon. We're getting 0.71% total carbon in this.
0.71. 0.71.
We're weighing about 500 milligrams of sample for a carbonate determination. That would be the inorganic carbon in the sample. At the present time, we're weighing about 500 milligrams of sample for a carbonate determination. That would be the inorganic carbon in the sample.
Right. 81 ppms inorganic carbon. 81 ppms inorganic carbon.
Okay, thank you very much.
Inorganic carbon equaled 81 ppms, or parts per million. This equals 0.0081%. The result, 0.71% total carbon, less 0.0081% inorganic carbon, leaves 0.7019 organic carbon, organic carbon, organic carbon, organic. This indeed shows that this specimen did once consist of living matter. Indeed shows that this specimen did once consist of living matter. Indeed shows that this specimen did once consist of living matter.
The Bible says, man, I have not seen nor ear heard nor entered into the hearts of man the things that God hath prepared for them that love him, and he is counting on us to share the truth that the Father has provided for us